Hey, this is John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're looking at the new Source Audio Atlas compressor. Before I tell you all about it, take a second to subscribe below. That way you can keep up to date on all this great guitar geekery we have coming your way. So, Source Audio, what they've done, if you're into compressors, I think with this one box, they have managed to give you kind of whatever you're looking for. The Atlas compressor is emulating some of our favorite studio compressors, like the rack mount 1176 and LA2A. But along with these studio compressors, they also have kind of the down and dirty stomp boxes like the Orange Squeezer and Dynacomp that we all love. So it gives you a cool combination of the both. The Atlas has two compressor engines, which can be simultaneously run in series, parallel, or what they call band split mode. That's where there's a separate compression control for high and low frequencies. There's also something called auto makeup gain, which automatically increases or decreases the makeup gain depending on the amount of compression you're using. There are stereo ins and stereo outs for different options in routing. There's MIDI, and there's also the access to their NeuroHub for deeper editing. So I came in on Studio Snap, which essentially this toggle will go between three different settings, and you can switch between the green setting and the red setting with a secondary knob up there. But we'll get into that later. So I start with Studio Snap, which is an aggressive, modern sounding compressor. I love it. Compressors to me work better on single coils, but it's cool when you can find one that works well with humbuckers, and I think this totally does it because you have so many tweaking options. Speaking of tweaking, here's our controls. Starting with threshold. As you turn this to the left, turn your threshold down, that means it's going to kick in at a lower volume. I mean, it's so alive right there, I barely touch it and it's coming out. Now, as you dial it back, it's going to get more subtle. So, great to kind of tweak it just where you like it. Over here is ratio. Now, if we bring it all the way to the left, that's 1-to-1 compression, which is not really compression. Now, why would you want it at 1-to-1? Well, you could put it at 1-to-1 and just jack up the output and you have a nice boost. With very little compression. Or you can feather in, you can put a boost with some compression, whatever you like. So that's there. Over here you have blend. Oh, before I get to that, the secondary function on this, on ratio, if you touch this button up here quickly, it'll flash, and then the secondary function kicks in, and that's tone. Cool, right? You kick it again. When that is flashing, the secondary function's in place. Make it dark. I like it light. Kind of like that high end with this guitar. So it's cool that with a quick touch of a button, you have this secondary function, and it sort of intuitively knows. It gives you a few seconds to turn it, and then it goes back to the primary function. I like that. Next we have the blend, which is pretty obvious. It's just how much of the compressor you want. When it's all the way to the left, a little counterintuitive, that's when it's all compression. You can really hear that, you know. What I like to do, personally, is to dial it in with the blend all the way up, so I'm really hearing the compressor. And then when I find the compressor, all the other settings I like, then I dial it back to make it a little more subtle. and season to taste. So that's the blend knob. But the secondary function, if we hit this, that clicks, and we've got attack. Down here, it's going to be a quick attack. Over here, slower. So essentially, with the blend and the attack, I feel like it's a little counterintuitive, because as it goes to its left, it's a little less compression. When it goes to the right, which you think would be turning it up, it actually kind of brings it down. That's my little mnemonic device. It might work for you. So finally we have output, which I alluded to earlier, but essentially that's your volume. And I love the fact that you can have the compression low and have this as a great just boost alone, which works really well if you run it in front of like a overdrive or something like that. And you don't necessarily want the compression with it, but you just want another little kick. Because when I stomp on a overdrive pedal, that's usually the distortion sound I'm going for, and then I want to hit a solo and it's already wide open, there's nowhere to go. That gives you somewhere to go. I like that. Secondary function on this, if you hit the top there, is release. And essentially, release is how quickly it stops compressing. Turn it there. The release becomes slower as you turn it that way, so it's going to just hold that long. So those are the secondary functions and the primary functions. Let's just look at a few of these other tones. They have a lot of them. So up to this point, I've been playing my Gibson Vegas, and it's running straight into the Atlas. It's being run with the proprietary power, and then into a Fender Pro Reverb, mic to the 57. Now we're with my Crytone Telecaster. It's all stock. There it is. Turn this on. Now I want to go to, this might be my favorite setting. This is the dual, and essentially the Atlas has two different independent compressors that you can run in several different ways, either in series or parallel. But again, I just kind of tweak by ear, but I really like the sound of this with single coils. To me, it's got that, kind of get that ratio there. It's kind of got that classic, that really wakes it up, makes you. But to me, what I like about it, it feels compressed, but it doesn't necessarily sound super compressed. It just, the guitar is very alive. Okay, let's look at a few more sounds. Flip this switch here, go over this way, and now we're in the red zone. Now, I'm not going to go through all these because it would take forever. There's just a ton of sounds in here. But in short, you've got the first three, you've got these three building on the first three, and then some more hidden sounds, and then bass sounds. But dig this one. I found this is like a really nice kind of slide setting because it gives you just tons of sustain. Usually I play slide with a lot of dirt because you kind of need it for sustain, but it's so great to have a clean tone like that that just, will hold forever, and it really does. Really beautiful, just a great tool. clean like that, it almost sounds like a dobro. Just great, a great tool. In addition to that, there's a secondary pedal you can run off the top, and that will give you further on-the-fly editing options. It comes in a relatively small box for all that it does. I have a Source Audio pedal that's, they've made some fairly big ones, but they've managed to cram a ton of goodies into this tiny box. And again, I like the fact that you have stereos in, stereo out, tons of options, MIDI, all that jazz. So good on you, Source Audio. In one tiny box, you've managed to give us all these compression options. And if you're a compression person, I bet you can find the tone you're looking for in this thing. They've really crammed everything in there. To read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com. While you're online, like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that jazz. Subscribe to the magazine, why not? Now for our little playoff, I want to show you a cool thing. I love compression. I love to use it all the time. But a cool bit, I really like it. It can not only wake up an amp that's a little lackluster, but take an overdrive, like right here is my old MXR GTOD. Take kind of a bland overdrive, put that in front of it.
Thanks.